made contact and shattered.
At some point, Chris locates what's called a dry bag.
Law enforcement had considered Laundrie the only person of interest in the murder of his fiancée, Gabby Petito.
On reference to a missing 4-year-old, the parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
Turn it over to another agency. Let's get some help.
Hello?
John.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for joining me here at ATS News. This is another live stream on true crime. We are covering Debbie Collier, a case that I've been following closely, mostly on CDT's channel and a bunch of other YouTubers' channels. I've just been kind of following in chat and just obviously the mainstream media. I've been watching stuff on it there. Most of my time as soon as this case started was spent editing my Gabby Petito documentary and going through the Dahmer case. So now that I've got those projects done and set aside, I can focus on this case, which I feel is going to be wrapped up and hopefully have a conclusion very soon. It's been moving very rapidly, but at the same time, it seems like they have a handle of what's going on here. Hopefully. I just want to say good morning to chat and good morning, Florida Bass Fishing. Good to see you. Petunia, it's good to see you. Mark, hello. Good to see you. Princess, Megan, Twisted Gemini. This coffee mug, CDT got it for me because we had like a private chat. You know how you can change like the backgrounds in your private chat? Ours looked like this. So she got me this mug for Christmas. I love it though. But hi, Carolina. It's good to see you. I hope your grandson's feeling better. So today, obviously, we're just going to do a deep dive into the case. Some of the stuff you've probably heard before. It's just kind of like the same information out there. But we're just going to do a little deep dive and I'll give you my take and my opinion on what I think is going on. Obviously, I'm just a layman. My opinion isn't from a professional standpoint. It's just from somebody who loves true crime. And you guys know me by now. So we will theorize and all that. But I do have the timeline that I pre-recorded and I want to share with you guys. And then I have the new court TV segment on this case that aired last night. And I was thinking we could play it and just kind of talk through it. I'm speaking quietly because obviously the little one is sleeping upstairs and I want to get as much done in this stream as I can before she wakes up. And those who are just joining this channel for the first time, I'm not in my office. Usually I have an office with my little setup, but I'm down in the kitchen / living room in the morning for the morning live streams with coffee. So it's just a little bit of a different setting. This isn't my normal office. So with that said, can you guys please just give the thumbs up for this video and like and share it, and then we'll get right into the case. I just feel so sorry for this family because I don't know, she's right around the age of my mother. She seemed like she was a good mother. The son speaks very highly of her, and you'll hear a little bit of what he had to say in this. So once again, I'm just going to play this little timeline and background information on the case, and then we'll switch into court TV, and then we'll theorize and just talk a little bit, bounce around with the chat, okay? Thank you guys for being here. September 8th, Collier's daughter Amanda moves back to Georgia with her 27-year-old boyfriend Andrew. According to George Kaysen, the lead investigator on the case, they had been living with the brother Jeffrey, Collier's son, for an unspecified length of time. The couple has a history of arrests for DV and other charges, including some that are drug-related, and when they moved back, they returned to the same Athens duplex where they lived before. September 10th, At 2:17 p.m., traffic cameras spot Collier's vehicle driving northbound on Route 15 in Tallulah Falls, and she walks into a Family Dollar store in Clayton at 2:55, about 90 minutes north of her home in Athens. The Venmo payment comes at 3:17 p.m., 8 minutes after Collier leaves the Dollar General store in Clayton. Collier is sitting in her car in the parking lot at the time the payment goes through. Then she leaves and heads southbound on Route 15. It is her last known stop before her death. Store cameras show her enter wearing a number 34 Georgia Bulldogs jersey and purchase several items that were found near her remains: a blue tarp, a red tote bag, paper towels, a torch lighter, and a poncho. Her daughter, Amanda, and husband, Stephen Collier, report her missing at 6:01 p.m. September 11th, Sirius XM radio contacts the Habersham County Sheriff's Office to alert deputies that a rented Chrysler Pacifica driven by a missing person has pinged in their jurisdiction. Investigators find it around 12:30 p.m. parked on the northbound side of Georgia Route 15 in Clarksville, about 13 miles south of the Family Dollar store. The vehicle was unlocked and unoccupied. The scene is still an hour's drive away from where Collier lived in Athens, but her daughter Amanda arrives in a hysterical state, according to police documents. She tells investigators her mother did not suffer from any mental illness or had thoughts of unaliving herself. A K-9 unit discovers Collier's remains down an embankment a quarter mile from the vehicle, nude and partially burned with charring on her abdomen and her right hand clutching a tree. The incident report states she is obviously deceased, and investigators quickly identified her as the missing mom, Debbie Collier. Burned remnants of the tarp, paper towels, and tote bag are found nearby, as well as a charred base of a fallen tree. The Habersham County's coroner's office transfers Debbie's remains to Georgia Bureau of Investigation Crime Lab for an autopsy, and the GBI also receives various items of possible evidence for enhanced analysis. September 14th, deputies serve a search warrant at Amanda's home 3 days after discovering her mother's remains. It is unclear what investigators found there, if anything. She lives there with her boyfriend, and the couple has a rocky relationship with numerous DV calls over the past 3 years. Police logs show it was one of several warrants served in connection with the investigation, but authorities have revealed few details and declined to release copies of the warrants, citing an active investigation. September 21st, the Habersham County Sheriff's Office reveals that investigators have found no evidence of either her unaliving herself or a kidnapping. Detectives served several search warrants and are looking to identify persons of interest. September 25th, Collier's son, Jeffrey Berdin, breaks his silence, praising his mother as a beloved matriarch filled with joy and beauty, and asking for the public to end speculation about the case and give detectives time to finish their investigation. Debbie's son says his mother was the kindest, greatest influence on his life and asked for respect and privacy as his family deals with the traumatic news of her murder. I will never be able to fully articulate the loss of my mother and what she meant to me. September 27th. An unfired round is discovered near the crime scene off Route 15, and Andrew separately tells Fox he and Amanda are living in fear, sleeping behind barricaded doors, and had absolutely nothing to do with Debbie's unsolved murder. Fox News Digital also discovers an unfired round about 20 to 30 yards uphill from the crime scene in a public area and immediately alerts investigators. Detectives from the Habersham County Sheriff's Office arrive about 15 minutes later and place it into a small evidence bag. Investigators say it could be unrelated. However, authorities suggest it could still be a clue that leads them closer to solving Debbie's gruesome death. September 29th. 4 911 calls were obtained and reveal details about the family's frantic search for Debbie on September 10th and 11th. One caller identifying herself as Collier's sister, Diane, made an alarming mention of a prior encounter with an unidentified ex-con driving a truck involved in a car crash with Debbie. Debbie's husband, Stephen, also told a dispatcher that his stepdaughter, Amanda, found his wife's purse in the home. Her daughter also told police she had her mom's iCloud details and asked them on Sunday morning why they hadn't been able to trace her mother's GPS. Why hasn't what I've asked for been done, she says in her voice, very clearly emotional. Why isn't her GPS in her van being traced? Do I need to hire a private detective to do that? September 30th, the Habersham County Sheriff's Office holds its first public briefing on the case, and investigators reveal Debbie's brutal slaying was personal and targeted, and likely not a random serial killer, and that Debbie did not unalive herself. Investigators also say they recovered her purse and cell phone at the crime scene.
We sleep with stuff in front of our back door and our front door because we didn't have anything to do with this, so we're a little scared ourselves.
No.
We had nothing to do with this, so we're just
No, I
trying to
know.
protect
I bet.
ourselves at this point.
Okay, so that gives us a little bit of the timeline and overview. Now I'm going to switch screens and play the court TV segment, and we can just talk through it there. So I just want to say hello to everyone who has joined us since we started and since this little pre-recording was going on. So hello, Georgie and Nikki Rex, Karen. It's good to see you guys. Christy B, AE, Caroline. Thank you guys so much for being here. And the cat's meow. It's good to see you. Here's a little video. It's from Gray Hughes' channel. So all credit goes to him. He's theorizing that she was possibly on her phone here. Like when she leaves the Dollar General, she's on her phone, he believes. So I just think that this is all interesting and crazy. And the Venmo, for me, I'm just kind of stuck on a little bit. Obviously, if it was a cry for help, she had a perfect opportunity to kind of say who had her at that moment. Instead, she says, they're not going to let me go. You know, if it's to Amanda, I just wonder, you know, does Amanda know who they is? At the same time, we've looked at the Venmo and there's no punctuation. Actually, let me just pull the Venmo image up. So as you see, there's no punctuation until the very end. People have thought that that was interesting. I kind of have been looking into it and kind of thinking about the different scenarios. The cash register lady said that nothing seemed like out of the ordinary. So I'm like, why would she be walking in there so calm and collected, grabbing all these items? And then once she leaves, she sends this message like, they are not going to let me go. It makes me feel like, you know, was she held at gunpoint? Was somebody in the van, like the windows are so tinted, it's so hard to see. Were they telling her, send this message, say this to Amanda? You know, there's no punctuation. So maybe it wasn't her own thoughts in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like she's being told what to type. Or at the same time, somebody could easily have her phone. We've also heard that Venmo allows you to log into somebody else's device if they have your information. So, you know, it's a lot of questions around the Venmo. We also learned that it has unlimited characters, meaning you can type as long of a message as you need. So that wasn't why she didn't use no punctuations. I wonder if this isn't her writing this. So I don't know. Yes, Florida bass fishing. They as in plural. I mean, that's how I take it. If it was a singular person, he's not going to let me go, or I don't know. It definitely sounds like it's more than one person. So just a lot of stuff going through my head when it comes to the Venmo and why she sent that message without, you know, basically saying like, help me, and why she was in the store without saying, help me. At the same time, I'm confused by, if she was under the impression that everything was okay at the time of her being in the store, so that's why the clerk wasn't like alerted to anything weird. I don't know. I really wonder, if somebody had told her, go in there and get these items, and they have a gun, or they're threatening her, or they're threatening to hurt somebody she loves. For me, I mean, I would be in such a panic. Like, even if I didn't like alert to other people, I feel like I'd be like forgetting the items I had to grab, but it seems like she had no problem, although we don't see her walking through the store. She had no problem grabbing certain things and remembering all of it. I mean, if you're kind of in like a bad situation, like I feel like I would be like, what did they say I had to grab? Like a lighter, paper towels. Okay. I don't remember what else they said, because your mind would be everywhere, I feel. So I find it very interesting that she calmly and collectively cashes out and has all these items. I don't know. I'm just like at a complete and total like confused about the Venmo. To me, the extra solid alibi of the husband actually made me extra suspicious of him, just because the alibi was so dang perfect. As of now, seems to me daughter and boyfriend are central to this. I agree that they're central to this, and I also agree that it's still too early to kind of mark everybody off the list, but I know what you mean by it seems the daughter and her boyfriend are central to this, because the search warrant that was executed, obviously they had very good reason to be there. I wonder, and CDT was also wondering this as well, was the search warrant willingly, or did they just show up and say, we have a search warrant? I almost feel like they just showed up and said it, and like didn't give her the opportunity to allow a search or to try to deter one. I don't know, I don't know, guys. All right, let me just switch screens. And again, guys, thank you so much for being here. And sun is in my face, but that's what happens down here in the morning stream. So thank you for having coffee with me in the morning and being here. I really appreciate it. So now we're going to play the court TV.
Deborah Collier walked out of the Family Dollar store at 3:09, got into her van, and remained in her van in the parking lot for 10 minutes before leaving the parking lot and heading south on Georgia 15, Highway 441, US 23.
And that's a good question, Sally W. said. Whose fingerprints will they find on her phone? Because remember, they have her phone and her purse. Obviously, the fingerprints on the phone will be interesting to see. Yeah, Allie79, Benny's going to be on camera. Yeah, I love Court TV too. So I've been watching. I mean, I've always watched Court TV, even when it was on cable. That's how I watched the Casey Anthony trial. And I was actually on a cruise at the time that trial was going on. And my ex and I were in the stateroom hanging out and had it on, and it was crazy. But yeah, Court TV is great. Vinny's great. We'll be watching him. The fingerprints on the car, we saw a picture in the beginning of the stream and on the thumbnail of it being towed out. It looks like it's being towed by just like a regular tow company. I don't know. I mean, maybe they work with the sheriff's office there. I don't really know, but it being a rental is just sort of problematic in a way, because of obviously all the different cross-contamination of fingerprints, hair, and fibers and all that are going to be in the car. But it's going to be interesting for sure. Seems like they have solid stuff even without fingerprints for them to do the search warrant. I'm assuming, again, we don't know the cause and manner of death of Debbie yet. The bullets being found, to me, kind of raises red flag. I feel like if you're going to be made to send a Venmo, or if you're going to be made to go in a store and grab the products that they've suggested, that a gun would probably be a good way to kind of force somebody. Do they detail it between every person, Brittany? because that would be a relief if so. And I heard it was a pretty new, and good morning, I heard it was a fairly new van, so maybe it hasn't been beat up and all that just yet. But that would be good to know for sure. But anywho, let's carry on here. Oh, you worked for Enterprise. Interesting. All right, guys, back to Vinny. And thank you again for being here, guys. And good morning, everyone joining. And please thumbs up this video.
Okay, that's the video of Debbie Collier, the mom from Georgia, Athens, Georgia, which is where the University of Georgia is, who was found dead in the woods about an hour north of where she lives. It happened on a Saturday, game day. She was dressed in all red, ready for the Bulldogs game at 4 o'clock. I don't know if she ever saw it. I don't think she ever saw it. She was found dead 15 minutes south of that dollar store that she was driving away from. But it was strange, some of the circumstances. Like, why was she even there to begin with? Well, now we've got new video of her actually arriving.
No two people are alike, so their verification processes should
at the dollar store, and this is at 2:55 p.m. You can see the spotlight. That is her van, SUV van, and I think we'll get to see her walk into the store. There she comes.
This part, I don't know if I'm just looking into it too much. Why did she pull up to this car and then move to a different spot? Do you guys find that weird? Let me know in chat, and those watching on replay. Like, this sort of is just like strange. It almost makes me think she parked somewhere. Again, I'm just speculating. Obviously, we don't know the details. Everything I'm saying is just going to be my own thoughts until we get more information from law enforcement. But it makes me think that somebody's in the car with her right now. She pulls in and they pretty much say, like, no, don't park here, park over there or something. You know what I mean? Right. Blue's Clues, Brooke. She could be looking for someone. I don't know. Like, did they tell her to park next to that van and then want her to be hidden more? I don't really know, guys, but I find it weird that she pulled in and then moves.
Pulling up, doesn't like that parking spot. Let me get a closer spot. I do that all the time. Pulls in. Again, Family Dollar. I mean, nothing unusual about this except the fact that it's an hour north of her house. And there's like 15 other dollar stores she could have gone to. Why this dollar store? Why in this part of the state?
Then I find it weird that that white van, as soon as she parks, like, pulls away. Is anyone else finding that weird? She had to be frazzled, though. She seemed calm inside the store. Exactly. That's why I'm so confused. Like, was she under the impression that as long as she complied and did what she had to do, or maybe she didn't think it was that serious at this point? I'm just very confused why she was able to go in there and then grab everything, remember everything she needed, for one. Although we don't see her in there like shopping around. Maybe she was checking her phone for a list, or somebody's telling her what to get, like through a text message, although maybe they would have said something like that to us. But some things, even though we have gotten a lot in this case, I'm sure some things are going to be held close to the vest. But yeah, also, if you guys love the dollar store or Family Dollar, like this stream, I love the dollar store. I have ever since I was a kid.
There you can see she's dressed up. I live in Georgia. She's dressed for the game, folks. Maybe not to go to the game, but maybe to watch the game or listen to the game or meet some people who were going to watch the game. Doesn't make sense to me. Now, let's take a look at the timeline to remind you of everything. Timeline, very important in this case. And it all begins 2:17. Debbie Collier's vehicle is seen traveling northbound on Georgia 15, just north now of where her body is found at the crime scene. 2:55, that's the video you just saw. And then she gets out and she enters the Family Dollar store. She's in there for a little while. At 3:09, she is seen checking out and leaving the store. She bought a blue tarp, a red tote, a lighter. She bought some paper towels.
Good morning, Lucia. It's good to see you. And yes, Mike, I don't think he's here today, but he gifted a bunch of memberships on Tuesday's stream. So if you guys have a membership and it was gifted to you, if you see Mike around, feel free to let him know that you appreciate it or whatever. It was just very kind of him to do that the other day. And I'm so happy to have you guys here.
Then at 3:09, she's in her car in the parking lot of the Family Dollar for about 10 minutes. Okay, so that's till 3:19. But at 3:17, this is so significant. A Venmo transaction with that cryptic message we've been talking about sent to Debbie's daughter, Amanda Bearden, for $2,300 and some odd dollars. I think it's $85.
And obviously you guys have heard the rumor or whatever, if it's 100% fact, but you guys have heard that Amanda's boyfriend owed fines or something that was around the price of the Venmo. So, you know, I feel like that's noteworthy. I don't know, guys. It's just freaking crazy. Who are you blocked on Twitter by, Brittany? I'm curious. Good morning, Kezchick. Good to see you.
$319, her vehicle leaves the Family Dollar and heads south on Highway 15. Let's bring in our guests. Our investigators still with us. We need them tonight. Bobby Chacon and Trebor Randall. And joining me now in New York City, senior reporter for the U.S. Sun, Luke Kenton is with us. Luke, great to see you again tonight.
And can I just say, guys, I watched this last night. I watched it on like double speed. So it's a little bit different today hearing it at normal speed, and I can break it down easier with you guys. Can I just say this guy in the Sun, 100% feel like he watches the live streams on YouTube. Everything he ends up saying is stuff that we've already talked about for days now. And I'm just like, is he like watching us? I don't know. It's just very weird. You guys let me know what you think too. I mean, obviously, I don't have anything against that, but I'm just saying it just is like October 5th, this came out, and everything he's saying is stuff that web sleuths have been saying for like days now. So I don't know. I just hats off to everyone who's discovered this information before this guy even said it on court TV, because you guys just do a really good job. That's all I can say. So yeah, Petunia, he was like a little behind in some of his information too, but look at him. He's trying so hard.
Now that we've seen this video of her arriving, once again, putting that timeline together, it seems like she's by herself. There's no indication of anyone else in that video.
And can I just say, yes, Vinny, it does seem like she's by herself, but you guys seen how tinted those windows are in that van? Like, that's got to be like the highest tint allowed or possible. So it's just, as much as it does look like Debbie's by herself, I'm curious what you guys are thinking in chat. Do you think somebody's in that van? Let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, it does certainly seem that way. You know, we have theorized before on this case. If somebody was perhaps in the back of the car, if that is the case, they have to have entered the car before she pulled into that parking lot, because what we can see from that surveillance camera is that nobody other than Debbie either enters or exits that car in the time that she's parked out front of the Family Dollar store. She kind of enters just after 3 p.m., appears to enter like down the side of a McDonald's chain. We don't know if she was in that McDonald's yet. I'm sure that's something police are looking into, but there doesn't seem to be anything overly suspicious in the build up to her entering that store. And when she's inside the store, as we've seen before, she seems calm and she seems normal.
Now, Luke, when it comes to the other people connected to Debbie, is there a clear picture yet that's been released by investigators about where everybody was that day? Everyone else of significance in her life. Her husband, her daughter, her daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah, with Debbie's husband, Steve, he was actually at the game parking cars. He's accounted for between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. that day. Law enforcement sources have said.
Just want to pause it real quick and welcome Max 2002 for being here. It's good to see you again. They said, good morning. I read that they located the guy of the car accident she had in April. Interesting. Okay, so I will look into that while I play this and see if there's anything on Twitter about it, and we can talk about what that update was. I'm assuming since he wasn't arrested or anything that it's not related, but again, I'm just assuming without even looking. And good morning, Seagate. Good to see you. And thank you for letting us know that little update.
Said that the surveillance footage that supports that claim. As for Amanda's whereabouts, I'm not too sure. I'm not sure that's something that's been kind of discussed at length by law enforcement. But we know that she was among the first people to kind of raise the alarm about her mum's disappearance. That came roughly 2.5 hours after she received that suspicious Venmo payment. And that call was made by Debbie's husband, Steve, at his home around 6 p.m.
All right, Trebor Randall, this is your neck of the woods. This is Georgia. What are you thinking about this case? I mean, very strange circumstances. The Venmo message, the Venmo, they won't let me go. The place where she was found, and just the fact that she's an hour north of Athens on game day.
Vinny, from the very beginning, this seemed a little strange to me. I'll admit that to you, starting with the message. Again, having done this in work cases similar to this, I've never had a situation where my victim was able to send a text message to anyone if they've been kidnapped or taken or just before their murder. That was.
Brittany said, excuse me, Duty Ron pulled his records too, and he was never on parole. That is very interesting and troubling and doesn't look or sound good for Amanda. I don't know. It's just she's steering. I feel like Amanda's been trying to steer things into a certain direction and all over the place. And I'm not buying her tears, which weren't even wet tears. It was just sobbing. I wish I could have seen her arrive at the scene because the police records state that she was hysterical. I don't know how much of it is acting, how much of it is guilt or what, but I also heard people saying even if this guy, the parole thing just wasn't adding up because they were saying Amanda said to her aunt that this guy who hit the mom in the car accident was begging, please don't go to the cops. I'm on parole and it could blah, 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 blah. Well, when you're on parole, like they want you to drive to work and stuff. So unless your crimes are like multiple, like DUIs or DWIs or something vehicular, for a parolee not to have access to a vehicle or be allowed to drive, I always thought that was questionable because obviously they want you to kind of get back into society and be, a functioning person in society. So I just feel like you don't think the aunt believed her either, Judes? I don't know. Like, I feel like the aunt sounded so desperate in her 911 call that maybe she trusted Amanda with this information and thought it was real. But now I'm wondering if she's like, wait a minute, like, I believed Amanda on this and I'm finding out that that's not an issue or that's not even true. It's just very weird. Yeah, she's very cold, in my opinion. Again, if it comes out that Amanda has nothing to do with this, I will 100% apologize. But I mean, you are the company you keep, and look at her significant other. Enough said.
That was unusual to me. Usually you only see a phone call if, somebody's holding someone, as we mentioned earlier, for ransom and say, call this person, give them some instructions. Even more unusual, watching her in the store There is no doubt in my mind that she was not under any type of duress or threat, because she just would not be able to hide that. I assure you, if someone was.
And I agree with this woman. Like, for her not to be distressed in this Family Dollar store and to remember all the items she needed, what led her to go in there under this like calm manner? And I mean, did they give her drugs? Was she subdued in a way? But then it's like, how was she able to grab everything and remember it? I don't know, guys. It's just not adding up really. But there was something else I was gonna say. Oh, I just feel like also in addition to Amanda's weirdness and history of criminal history herself, her waiting that long to call 911, 2 hours or something. It's just, and then when she was finally on the phone with 911, she's very, very, very like upset. I'm just thinking, like, if you're this upset, what made you wait 2 hours? I don't know. It just, her actions, like over the phone, like the way she's sounding and all that, like didn't really coincide with her waiting that long to call, in my opinion.
Was waiting in the car, for example, or, saying, hey, go into the store, buy these things, don't try anything fishy, right? Like they do in the movies, she would not have been able to remain that calm. However, maybe if somebody that she was familiar with asked her to stop and pick up items that will ultimately be, evidence at a crime scene, she would not have thought of that. You know what I mean? Such as a tarp. I may say, well, what are you going to do with that? But she would not have thought, or she wouldn't have been, hinked up at all if.
And I definitely agree with what this lady's saying and what Jude's just said. She was not under duress at the point, in my opinion. I'm just confused, like, what is going on behind the scenes at this point for her to just willingly go in there and like grab all this stuff. Like, I'm telling you, if I was like, Mom, go in Dollar General and grab me all this stuff, she'd be like, are your legs broke? Like, what's going on? And plus, for her to be this far away from home or whatever, I mean, to be all the way out here with all those other Dollar Generals and dollar stores like along the way, and I'm sure Walmart's has the same stuff for around the same price, if not better. Not sponsored by Walmart, but I just feel like if she wasn't in distress, like in the store at this point, what got her out in this area so far away from home under such a calm manner at this point then? You know what I mean? Like something must have like brought her there or something. So I'm just like confused at like what level of her being controlled is going on at this point by somebody. Maybe there is no gun involved at this point, or there is no demands being set at this point. Maybe somebody was hiding in the van and then they came out when she got back in the car and then the Venmo is sent. But for her to say, once she gets out of the store and she's in the car and she sends that Venmo, they're not going to let me go. It's almost like she knew before she got in Dollar General that like she was being held. So for her to say they're not going to let me go, it's just like, it seems like she knew about something going on at that point. I don't know. Do you guys see what I'm saying?
Maybe somebody she had known had asked her to stop and just pick up some supplies for them. So from the very beginning, this case started off really, really strange.
And that's a good question. I'm not sure, True Crime with Shannon, if the game was nearby. Right, Nikki, unless she didn't send that Venmo. Exactly. And I'm thinking Debbie would know how to use punctuation. So she's sending the Venmo. They're not going to let me go, period. I love you, period. But that didn't happen. So, I mean, we don't really have other texts or anything from Debbie to compare, do we? Right. And if she's going to game day an hour away, like, who's she going with? I don't know, guys. And to me, her outfit, just looking at everything else she's worn and all that. Good morning, Pink Dahlia. I just feel like something was off, even like her getting ready for the day. I don't know. It's just, she's always so well put together, and the earrings and matchy. I'm very, I don't know. I'm glad you're here, Pink Dahlia. It's good to see you. Yeah, she didn't send that money. Do you guys think that the money was typed wrong? Like some people are saying it's supposed to be $23.85. She accidentally put 23. I don't think it was the wrong amount. I think it's way too close to the amount that they're saying the boyfriend needed for fines or whatever his sorry, just checking the baby monitor. She's still asleep, sort of waking up. So we still have time to finish this, guys. So I don't know. It's just all very weird.
Bobby Chacon, we just covered a case where we saw an abduction on video, and we saw how it all took place. We've got video here. I don't see an abduction, but that message is kind of strange, but the message seems to be sent from the parking lot. And I don't understand the wording of it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and I agree that she doesn't look under duress at all in that store. And so I don't think she was under any kind of duress or threat when she was in that store. She exited the store and then the text takes place. I would be leaning hard on the daughter to say, why did your mother send you this money? Is it your rent? Is it some kind of car payment? Why is your mother sending you this money? Because there is some reporting out there that says the daughter's boyfriend owed criminal fines and penalties in almost that same amount that the Venmo payment is for. And so that's the only key, that's the only connection that I've seen reported so far. But I'd be asking the daughter, what was this money for? Was it for your rent? Was it for your car payment? Why is your mother sending you this money? If she doesn't have a good explanation, I'd look up.
Do we even have an explanation or anything from Amanda to explain the money transfer? Good morning, Kay Danielle. Good to see you. Because I would also love to know, like, is she playing it off like, this is so out of the norm, or I don't know what this is? Or is she playing it off like, well, we had a discussion and she was going to let me borrow that? I'm very curious to know what her answer was about that. Susie said, I heard yesterday they only left $10 in her account after the Venmo. Wow. And yeah, I totally think that Amanda has some involvement in this. Her 911 call to me, I know some people are like, oh, she sounds so upset and she's like in grief, and her showing up at the scene, in hysterics, like law enforcement stated. I don't know if I'm believing that her hysterical state had to do with her being upset about like losing her mom, or if the hysterical state was something else going on. I don't know. But I get like really bad vibes from the daughter. And we also ended up hearing that yeah, Georgie, her 911 calls are fishing for information for sure. Like, she's like, I know you don't know everything, but blah, 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 like asking the 911 like operator about the case. It's like, we'll give you a call.
A lot closer at her.
And Luke, what are we hearing from the daughter and the daughter's boyfriend? Are they publicly speaking about, where they were or what the Venmo transaction was about or anything along those lines?
After kind of this case became, the national interest story it is now, they were quite vocal for the first few days afterwards, particularly Andrew Geigerich, who's Amanda's boyfriend, Debbie's daughter.
And yes, that is a good point. You can definitely sound upset very easily on the phone, for sure. Like, we heard that even in the Summer Wells case. For those who have followed that and know about the mother making a prank phone call, sounding so upset, and it was all a prank. It's like she literally sounded like she was crying in hysterics, and then we debunked it. So people will do what they have to do to save their own butts. And yeah, I have heard, and you guys let me know. Yes, she did have control over the boyfriend's money, according to body cam footage of the boyfriend, who wasn't even supposed to be there at the time because he had an order of protection against him from Amanda, the daughter. So the boyfriend definitely was complaining about Amanda's control over his account and money. really petty amounts too, like nothing crazy. Like he's like mad about like a couple grand or something. I don't know. It's like, buddy, relax. Good morning, mi amor, Michelle. It's so good to see you. But yeah, they said that they can't find the money that was transferred to her, right? I mean, that is a huge red flag. Like, I feel like this was definitely premeditated, but they're just stupid. Like, I just am like, you couldn't even hold on to the money like a little bit longer just to be like, yeah, here it is. Instantly, it's like missing. They don't know where it is. Is that accurate or am I just talking?
Daughter. He's spoken quite publicly. As to the Venmo transaction, they haven't really spoken much about, nor have they about their whereabouts. They did say that they'd last seen Debbie the day before she went missing. They said they went out for lunch with her, that she took them out for lunch. That is when they claim to have last seen her, and I'm not sure if Amanda spoke to her mother on the phone in that time. They haven't specified, but they have been awfully quiet since then.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be mad about a couple grand missing, but the way that he broke an order of protection to like complain about it. So it's like, there's like a level of, this guy has like no self-control or is just not doing things how he's supposed to do, because he wasn't supposed to be there that day. And he's like on body camera complaining about money missing. And yeah, a couple grand isn't anything to just write off and be like, oh, whatever. But at the same time, him breaking the order of protection just to go over there, and then he starts complaining about this money. It's like, you're breaking the law by being here. You're not supposed to be here. And you're complaining about this money? Like, buddy, do you not realize, like, you need to not be here? Like, the money shouldn't have driven him. That just shows his level of temper and lack of self-control, in my opinion. So it's definitely a red flag. And good morning, CDT. It's so good to see you. Venmo has to be claimed with a code. Bet his fines got paid. I'm very curious about all that, and if they were paid or whatever. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was strange. Vicky said her asking if she needs to hire a private investigator. I did too. I am like, was she just saying that to make it seem like she's innocent? You know what I mean? Because if you're innocent, if you're guilty, you're not going to hire a private investigator who's going to come around and be like, you're the one that I'm supposed to be looking at. But for her to say it over the call, it sounds like, oh, wow, it sounds like she's innocent because she's the one suggesting, like, do I need to hire somebody who's going to come look at me? It's just crazy. That body camera looked like drone footage, LOL. Andrew is on the shorter side, or the cop was 8 feet tall. Yeah, I think it could have been a little bit of both. Either way, like, regardless of his height or whatever, it seems like he is just, I don't know, not normal, criminal maybe. People talked about him being like an MMA fighter or whatever at one point. I'm like, so does he have like head injuries or whatever? I don't know. It's just him having that sort of training too, like they can put people in headlocks and knock them out. I mean, anybody can really, but it's just crazy. Yeah, it is a strange thing to say. Like, do I need to hire a private investigator? What the heck? I wonder if she was like worried somebody would hire one and it would come back to her. So she just laid it out there as like something first. It just seems like they like premeditated this like a little bit, but then got in over their heads like once it all was happening, and is like, I don't know. I just see a lot of scrambling. What do you guys think?
We don't know in this case, who is being treated as a suspect and who isn't, but something that Andrew did say to the press is that he has been interrogated, as has a.
And this guy's like, we don't know who's been treated as a suspect and who hasn't. And that's true. Like, they haven't come on and said, this is our person of interest. But for them to do the search warrant and to have a valid reason to get the warrant and to be there, it's kind of like saying, like in an unspoken manner, like, you're who we're after. What do you guys think?
Amanda, their phones have been seized, and they said they feel as though they're being treated as suspects. We know they served a search warrant at their home 3 days after Debbie's body was found, and we know that they spent 6 hours at her home. What we don't know is what they found, if anything.
All right. Our guests are staying with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about something else that happened to Debbie prior to this, a car accident. That was the reason she was in this vehicle that wasn't hers. It was a rental. How that could potentially be connected to all this. Plus, coming up next hour. In Santa Fe County, New Mexico, Alec Baldwin shot and killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins.
On Court TV 0433.
Just a pea-sized amount of Lumi applied between your butt cheeks like this. I will demonstrate.
What? I'm so sorry about
no
that
evidence
ad.
to
Like,
suggest or support that this is.
oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just... You just never know what ads are going to pop up, but that I've never seen. Like, oh my gosh. Crazy. Are you guys loving that or what? I was not expecting her to say butt cheeks at all. Oh my gosh, guys. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just still kind of collecting myself over that. Sorry, guys. I cannot wait to tell my fiance, like, you really need to, like, get me, like, ad blocker. I've been telling him for so long, like, please pay for YouTube Premium so that we don't get ads in.
Incident was related to a kidnapping or that this was a suicide.
And what they've also said in Harrison County is that they don't believe this is a serial killer either. So they think it's someone
Sandra
that knows.
I think that that's just going to have to be another mystery. She said, what the hell? Can we find out about her butt cheeks? No, I don't think we're going to find out about that. Only on my page, Kay Danielle said, oh my gosh, what the heck? How much is premium ATS? I'm not sure. I don't think it's that much. It would definitely be worth it to kind of prevent an ad like that popping up. But, oh, guys, I'm trying to calm down from that. Is everyone awake now? Like, I hope everyone's awake and ready to take on the day after that. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Can we just come back down now? And sometimes you have to get like a little bit of like silly out of you. Like when we're talking about crazy topics, Jesse said, what did I miss? An ad that popped up and it was just, I can't even say it. I can't even. You'll have to rewind it, I guess. You have to rewind it. Oh, gosh. Anyways, I hope everyone is up and awake after that. And I'm so happy that we could all share that laugh together. Oh, my gosh. I can't wait to hear the replay comments and all this, too. But, oh, darn it. Petunia missed it, too. You have to rewind it. I can't even explain it. Just a weird ad. Anyways, give me a second and let's just get back into Vinny. So just give me 1 second. Oh my gosh. Too funny. Too funny. My fiance is not even going to believe me when I tell him this.
At this time, there is no evidence to suggest or support that this incident was related to a kidnapping or that this was a suicide.
And what they've also said in Harrison County is that they don't believe this is a serial killer either. So they think it's someone that knows the defendant or knew about the victim in this case. Fascinating stuff. We
I'm trying so hard to get back into this case right now after that ad, but oh my gosh. Yeah, she did say it so matter of fact, like just a pea-size amount. Like where I had no idea that that's where that was going. But I don't know, maybe it was firming cream for your butt. I don't know. I'm so glad CDT was here for that too, because I love having a good laugh with her too. But anyways, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, let me just get back into this and Vinny. I'm behind in the live, but want to say I always enjoy this place. Smart talk. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I'm glad people rewound it too. So now everyone's kind of like up to speed on what's going on. Oh my gosh, Petunia. I can't even. All right, guys, let's carry on.
We now know that Debbie's husband and daughter both called 911 when they realized that she was missing, but there was an additional call to 911 obtained by FoxNews.com from a woman identifying herself as Debbie's sister, Diane Shirley. Diane told the operator that she had information from her niece that could have something to do with Debbie's disappearance. Take a listen.
From my niece, she said that she was in an accident about a month ago, and she was, on the road. She was following this truck, and this truck lost a paint can, and the paint can hit my sister's car, and the paint went everywhere. And the driver was trying to convince my sister not to tell the cops that he was driving because he was out on parole, and there was, a stipulation to his parole that he couldn't drive.
And just, here's just another element to this case where the daughter is just kind of spinning a narrative to people close to Debbie, telling her own aunt that, he was on parole, this person in this accident, just to kind of like point the finger elsewhere. And, everything that's been strange in this case has kind of come down to one common denominator, and that's Amanda.
Could that be connected to all of this in some way? Let's bring back in our guests, Bobby Chacon, Trevor Randall, our investigators, and Luke Kenton, senior reporter for U.S. Sun. Luke, do we know any other details about this accident?
Yeah, when that 911 call was first released, it certainly caused a bit of confusion. But in the days since then, we know that Debbie was involved in a similar accident as to what her sister describes in that call on April 30th. So some information has come out about the person that she was involved in the accident with. His name was Miguel Martinez. He was 48 years old, and he was allegedly driving without a license when the crash occurred. Some sort of metal item fell onto Debbie's car and caused some damage, but nobody was hurt. Miguel Martinez has got previous misdemeanors, allegedly for pulling an ex-girlfriend's hair, and various other things. But there doesn't seem to be anything to suggest that he was actually on parole when that crash occurred. He had been on parole, but I believe it had expired at the time of that accident. There's also been no kind of indication from law enforcement that they're looking into that as a possibility, but who knows at this stage.
Bobby, what does your gut tell you on that one?
It tells me he probably wasn't involved. I mean, they would have, if there was more substantial connection, they would have made it by now, and they would have connected him to a parole violation, a potential parole violation that he did not want to go back to jail. I think if that was there, if there was any substance to that, they probably did look into it, follow those leads, and probably dismiss them.
Trevor, I want to get back to where she was. That I can't get my head around it because of the timeline. She's an hour north of where she is, and she's 15 minutes away from the dollar store, but doesn't get there until 45 minutes later.
Yes, that's another thing that we caught. Ashley Oaks, thank you for reminding us. Not a month ago, she's lying. So Amanda told her aunt that this accident or whatever was a month ago, and we find out obviously that was not true. So, even the littlest information, it seems like Amanda is getting it wrong purposely or what, that's the question. And yeah, she was such a cutie pie. She reminds me so much of like my mom. My mom's got blonde hair around the same age. My mom's always like matchy with purple and the earrings and makeup, and just put together really well, like Debbie is, and they both have like that toothy smile. So this case for me is just like hitting closer than like I thought it would the more that I'm digging into it. And I'm just like, I really hope that we get justice for this lady. And I hope that things are closing in on the suspects as we speak, actually.
Like, to me, the key to uncovering part of this is trying to understand why she was there to begin with and where she was just before she went to the dollar store, because she's on.
Yeah, that's a good question that Vinny is saying. Like, and that we've talked about it and everyone knows, why was she there? It was so far away. Later in the afternoon, what was taking place like all throughout the morning, all the way up to the point that she's at the dollar store around 2 something. It's just, hi, Foxy lady. It's good to see you. That is like the real question, because it's just blowing my mind that she's in the store acting normal, pretty much grabbing the items without a problem. And then all of a sudden shit hits the fan. It's not $12 a month to not have commercials on YouTube. $12 with gas prices. I'm just kidding. I know I need my fiance to just set it up. Like, please. Hi, Allison. It's good to see you. Glad you made it. And I just want to thank all my moderators for helping me out in chat and behind the scenes. Like, I dig through a lot of this stuff with you guys off of YouTube too. So this conversation is always carrying on, and I keep digging. So I just really appreciate your guys' feedback and everything that you guys say in chat. It's just really appreciated.
On that, she's on George 15, just 15 minutes away from there, from the dollar store, but it's not till 45 minutes later that she gets there.
I agree with you. That makes no sense. And timelines are incredibly important to our investigations when you have these mysteries that you've got to unravel.
And I'm still stuck on her parking there and then moving to a different spot. Like, yes, I've done that too. But remember, she's in a rental car. So, I mean, it's not raining out. It's not a day where it's like, oh, I want to be close to the door. It just, to me, it seems like something was going on in that van at that time. Somebody said, no, I don't like this spot. Move over there. Or that white van is somehow involved in this, and they pulled up next to them, let them know that they're there, and then made her pull up over into a closer spot. I don't know.
As we mentioned earlier, I think she was following specific instructions that were given to her. That cell phone evidence is going to be incredible. Undoubtedly, I would venture to say that is what gave them the probable cause they needed to.
And this is a good visual too, so I'm just going to pause it a little bit. Her being so far away from like her home and local areas too, obviously is a red flag. So it's already making me think even before, because some people are speculating something nefarious happened after the dollar store. Like, I'm thinking something was happening all day, but I'm very confused and stuck on the fact that she's acting calm and was able to grab those items without an issue. I'm wondering if somebody else sent that Venmo pretending to be her, if even at the point that the Venmo is sent, Debbie isn't alerted to something like seriously wrong. She might be maybe thinking something's up or something. I don't know. But then why is she like, who's in the van with her? Like, I'm very stuck on, like, for one, I just don't think she sent the Venmo. The more I'm thinking about it, it's like somebody else. For two, I'm stuck on the fact that she's calm and collected, like in the dollar store. I'm trying to figure out when something went wrong here. And I definitely think that it was before the Dollar General, but at the same time, I'm thinking, I just don't even know what to think. What are you guys thinking?
To search the daughter's residence is what was on the cell phone. And you have to keep in mind, a lot of people do not understand that just because you delete messages and it's not physically located in the screen of your phone, it does not go away.
Not so loud, Trebor. The criminals might be listening tonight. Don't let them know that. Wow.
I definitely think that the suspects in this case are listening to the media for sure. And hello, Big Al. Good morning. It's good to see you. So happy that you're here today. I really don't think someone was in the van. I think she got the notification as she was leaving and was taken aback by it. Which would explain why she's just calm and all that in the store, because nothing had been alerted to her. Maybe there's a text message or phone call deleted that's not showing us. Somebody asked her to pick up these items. You know what I mean? My head is just everywhere. I don't see any distress on her whatsoever. It's weird. Exactly. She sort of like hesitates a little bit as she's walking in, but I think the door might have been heavy. You know, she's like a petite, shorter woman, it seems. Maybe the door was too heavy. I don't know. Why drive that distance? It is confusing to me. Exactly, Courtney. That's where I'm like, if nobody was in the van and she's not in distress because she doesn't know anything bad's happening, why was she out there? It just is like, obviously something strange must have been happening for her to even be out there. So what level of strangeness turned into, oh my gosh, I'm in a bad situation? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just very confused by the timeline there. Allison said, I wonder if she didn't know someone was in the car until she exited the store and returned to her car. I'm wondering that too. But then at the same time, Allison, why was she out there? Like, if she was asked by somebody to pick these items up, like, why wouldn't she just go closer? That's why I'm like thinking, like, was something like awry much earlier? But at the same time, who would be in public? And people have said that they see her on her phone. I don't know if that's 100% true. But like, if she had her phone on her in Dollar General, then why didn't she just run and call 911 and be like, I'm in the store and I need help? Unless somebody's in the car with like a gun to Amanda's head, but I don't think so. I heard she has 2 purses. I'm not sure about that, single mama 4, but it's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Or maybe she got the Venmo message when she returned to the car. Exactly. She's been following directions from someone piece at a time. I think every woman has at least 2 purses. Yeah, I've got like a little clutch for like evenings. And then I like a little backpack. It's like an Adidas one. I don't know. She seems like somebody who would match things. And what do you know? The tote that she ends up buying is red, which is matching her outfit. So it's like, was she unaware 100% at that time of something happening? And she just thought, oh, well, I'll match while I carry these items to whoever she's meeting up with or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Someone called her for help, in my opinion. Right? And she has a bad back, so door would maybe twist her back, etc. I'm with CDT. I believe she was told to go there and what to get for her daughter and to meet her. One person she knows in the van going to pick up someone else, possible for sure. Thank you guys for giving me your opinions and all that. It's just a lot to work through. I think someone else is in there with her for sure. Good morning, Linda G. It's good to see you. The Venmo is what throws me off so much. Me too. I'm thinking somebody else sent it, especially after hearing that you can sign into Venmo under any device. And think about it. Amanda's boyfriend complained that Amanda was always into his finances and control of his money. So I'm wondering if Amanda has that sort of level of like closeness with her mother's money in a way, like knows her Venmo password or knows how much is in her mother's account. That's why only $10 was left in there. Like for me, I have to leave a certain amount in my like accounts. Like if I move money around, I have to have like at least $20 or $10 in like left in there. So maybe the Amanda's just like in the know of like everything, like her boyfriend's money, her mother's money. Good morning, Connie. So good to see you. I'm glad you made it. And then also remember, Amanda says that the only thing missing was her debit card. And what was the other item? Was it her phone? Either way, I know that debit card was, or her license maybe. I know that Amanda mentioned her debit card. Like for me, I thought about it and I was like, if my mom went missing, like I don't even know what her debit card looks like. Like, okay, it was her ID. Thank you guys. Good morning, Molly. From Australia. Good to see you. So glad you're here. It is 9:14 in the morning here in New York. So I'm just curious where you guys are all at and those on replay, like where are you from? Let me know. But I don't know. I'm just like wondering, she's just very in the know of people's money, it seems, Amanda, and like what her mother's debit card looked like, and if she's that close in the know with the boyfriend's money and knowing the mom's debit card, did she know her bank account information? So that's why only $10 was like left in there. I don't know. And her Venmo password, was that something else Amanda was aware of? I mean, maybe she even set it up for her mom. I mean, the other day I visited my mom and my mom had us like do all this stuff. My fiance is like setting up Peacock on her smart TV and all that. I'm like, did Amanda help her set this Venmo up at one point? So that was like easier for her to get the cash. I don't know. All of Amanda's behavior is just incriminating. I think it's very suspect. That's for sure. You know, her interview, I'm not going to play it. I know you guys have broken it down, but you know, there's, like I said earlier, there's no wet tears. It's just, to me, just does not come across as like genuine. And if she is like upset, for me, I'm feeling like it's not because of what's going on. It's something else, but that's just my opinion. Those are just the vibes I get. And thank you, Foxy Lady, for posting the Facebook groups. And thank you, Nicole LTL. It's so good to see you as a member. I know you've been in the community for a while, and I always appreciate your feedback in all the chats and on all the cases. So thank you for being part of my little think tank here. How many other people did she Venmo to? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure the patterns. I want to see the pattern of the Venmo, and I want to see patterns of her like other text messages, type messages, things. The mother, I mean, just to kind of compare like the punctuation and all that. Did you notice also in the Venmo, she didn't like abbreviate? Like for me, sometimes if I'm typing something quick, especially through Venmo or something, I would maybe use the letter U. Like instead of you, like I know some people are just not like that. Like they will not abbreviate things and they will not use like, instead of typing out Y, like WHY, like maybe I would type the letter with a question mark or, you know, like I'm not saying I would, but I just found it interesting that in the Venmo, nothing was abbreviated. And also, guys, I have a Facebook group that's true crime related where we talk about all different cases there. It's called Open Discussion on Disturbing True Crime Cases. I'd love to have you guys on a Facebook format talk cases with me. So if you want to join, let me know. And Foxy, would you mind just linking that Facebook group also? It's much appreciated.
So, Luke, the other part of this that I'm trying to understand, and is anyone connected to that area? There's a rehab that is close to where her truck was found. What do we know about that rehab, and was there any connection to anyone in Debbie's life?
So I just wanted to read Big Al's statement, because I definitely agree. Hold on. Sorry, I'm terrible with grabbing like chat comments when it's going quick. I don't know. And plus the StreamYard chat is slower than YouTube chat. So I see it like on the YouTube chat and then I can't find it in StreamYard. So where is Big L's comment? He said something about the phone data being important, which 100% is true. Okay, the phone data is going to show another stop in that town. I am betting she stopped somewhere before Family Dollar. Someone sent her to that town for something. And sorry, I'm like so close to the camera reading that. Yeah, I definitely agree. Or I'm curious to see like what other CCTV footage they have of that vehicle. I'm sure even the highways might have cameras. I mean, obviously they do if they spotted her vehicle. So that's probably not the only location that they saw the van at. So I'm curious. I'm also very curious about the crime scene. I think that there's obviously, even though we know like certain details about it, I think that there's stuff that they're holding back, obviously, because they don't want to give all the details of the crime scene out. But I do wonder if maybe there was, she was tied or something, and maybe the rope got burned while things were burning. I don't know, guys. And good morning, Bree. It's good to see you. 15 to 20 minutes missing between the school and Family Dollar. They won't let me go was Habitat telling Debbie she couldn't go onto a construction site, just a theory. Yeah, crime scene was likely messy. I agree. And I can't get past the bullets being found there. Like, I know when this first started, like I said, this is my first live stream on this, but as soon as I heard the bullets were found, I was like, that's got to be connected, because this is like a highway that am I wrong? Like, it's a highway that this van was spotted off of to the side. And like they said something about there being like a wildlife reservoir nearby, so it might be tied to that. But I'm just like, that would just be, I don't know. I'm just feeling like it's got to be connected. I can't help but feel like this is going to come out, and other people have speculated about it too, that the cause and manner of death, like I'm just guessing, but I have a feeling that it's going to come out as like a gunshot. It's a random spot, not a hiking trail. Ammunition is definitely odd. It was one bullet. You can hunt federal and state land. I mean, yeah, that's two really good points, like, and two different opinions. And I like everyone's opinion. That's where I'm like, Petunia said, not an appropriate place for hunting, too close to the road, motel, the rehab facility. I agree that it is very close to the road for hunting. I agree there. I think Debbie went to that McDonald's before the dollar store. Wow. Could be for sure. Did they find one bullet? Because in this interview, or in this article that I was reading, it seemed like one was found and then Fox News found another one. Or was that just the same one that they were kind of referring to?
So the rehab facility that was located nearby is I believe, a male-only facility. We don't know if there's any direct connection with this case with that facility, but we do know that drugs have come up a few times in this case. In one kind of domestic incident between Amanda and Andrew, that's Debbie's daughter, Amanda, from September last year, Andrew says to police that he accuses Amanda of stealing money from him, $500 to $600 a month, to buy drugs, and then accuses her of possibly being on drugs at the time of the dispute. Again, we don't know if that's true, but that footage has been released. Also with Andrew, something that I uncovered this week, that his mum was actually sentenced to 30 years in jail last year for attempting to sell meth. So drugs and money have come up in this case lots of times, but there's nothing at the moment about what we know about this case to to link anything to that facility, but it certainly is an interesting coincidence.
Absolutely is. And again, we will continue to follow all the developments in this case. Big thank you tonight to Luke Kenton from the U.S. Sun senior reporter, and of course our investigators tonight, Bobby Chacon and Trevor Randall. Thank you both so much. We'll see you again really, really soon, and hopefully there are more developments here and we can solve.
Let's talk about BetterHelp. If you ever feel anxious, depressed, stressed, overwhelmed,
I'm thinking I want to play Amanda's 911 call as we kind of talk more about this stuff. What do you guys think? Just Amanda's, because I just feel like hers is one that's just questionable in my opinion. So give me a second to change my screen.
Hi, my name's Amanda Bearden, and I filed a missing persons report on my mother last night.
Okay.
Yesterday, excuse me, and I was just wondering if maybe I could speak with the detective that's been assigned to her case.
Do you have any further information?
I sure do. I mean, do you want the case number? I mean,
I need the case number so I can look it up that way.
Bear with me just a second. I'm sorry.
Doesn't she sound like annoyed? She has two of them. Is this the first one, CDT, that I'm playing? Because I just randomly typed in the 911 call. Yeah, single mom. Okay, I didn't know if it was just me like picking up on her like sarcastic like rudeness. But yeah, that's like, are you stressed and just being rude because you're innocent and you just want answers about your mother, or are you stressed and being rude for other reason? I don't know. Just Joy says she sounds high on drugs. I'll have to listen again closer. I'm playing the second one. Okay, it must be because she's saying that she has more information. All right, let me look around for another one as I play this one.
That's fine.
Okay, it's 2022 dash 0910 0216.
216.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hang on just a second. And the detective may not actually be in the building yet, so I may have to get you a patrol officer. Okay, so just bear with me just a second.
Okay.
So 09010.
I'm sorry, the handwriting is not that great, but it's 09100216.
Sorry about that. I think I missed.
No, you're fine. It's only me.
On Rocky Drive?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what kind of update do you have, just so I know what to try to...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean like I had an update. I just meant... Oh, my God. I didn't mean... I'm...
Why is she saying she didn't mean I had an update? I just meant, it's like, you literally said that you had new information. Like when she asked, do you have something new? And she's like, yes, I do. Like all rude and like condescending. What the heck?
Sorry, I'm not in a clear mental state. This is my mother that's missing. I just wanted to talk to them. I wanted to see if maybe there was something that I could do. I do have the rental agreement number if they needed that. I mean, that's the only thing that I have to offer. So maybe because she was in a rental car, I do have her rental agreement number. If they could maybe trace the GPS in it.
Okay. All right, what's your phone number?
I'm her daughter.
Yes, ma'am. Take a deep breath for me, okay?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'd be upset too. I completely understand that part, like being upset about it. So the officer that took your report is already gone for the day. He worked last night. And then the detectives, I don't think they're in the building right now. They're kind of working on an on-call basis, so I don't know that I can get in touch with them unless I have something, fresh to give them, and that would be something. But I can see if I can get another officer to call you back, okay?
Okay.
And we've got the bolo out for, we got everybody, keeping their eyes peeled for, and that kind of thing. So,
I'm not trying to be a smart aleck here or anything, but do I need to hire a private detective maybe? Because I mean, and I'm not trying to be ugly or anything, but I don't understand why I know you don't know everything, of course, but why it hasn't, what I've asked being done, like why?
And her saying, I know you don't know everything, but it's it really is her fishing. I agree, guys. Everyone in chat is saying fishing, and it's totally she's in hopes of saying I know you don't know everything that's going on, because she wants her to be well, I do know that, blah, blah, blah. It just seems like Amanda is possibly on something at this point and paranoid. It's getting weird for sure. And yeah, her apologizing for being ugly. Yeah, you were being ugly and you meant it exactly, single mama 4. I agree. It's it's so terrible. And I just really feel like I said earlier that the walls are going to be closing in. If they have things at the front and back door, like Andrew stated, barricading because they're worried, it's how much level of that is just to play it off like there's another perpetrator out there, or how much of that is you being paranoid?
And the GPS in her van being traced. Do I need a private detective to do that? I mean, I'm not trying to be ugly or anything.
I know.
I just, the most help.
Okay, so here's the thing. She's an what is she?
She's an adult.
Right.
I got it.
So that makes things a little more difficult because people are allowed to leave and go and do things without telling other people. And I know that's not a good answer. I understand that. But that is also, that is also part of it because she is an adult. So it just takes some time also to do these things. So I don't specifically know what they've done yet or not. I wasn't here last night, so I don't know. But from my understanding, they would be doing everything that we know to do currently. But I will definitely get somebody to call you back, okay?
Okay, thank you for talking to me.
And with what money is Amanda going to hire this private investigator detective over? I don't understand. Hello, SU Coder. It's good to see you. And it's good to see another upstate New York person in chat.
It's no problem. I'm so sorry. I hate that this is happening to you. What was your name again, sweetie?
Amanda Bearden.
Amanda Bearden. Spell your last name.
BearDen.
Okay. All right. I'll get somebody to call you back here shortly, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And you guys let me know what you think about this thought, because I was just thinking, if she is innocent and she's saying this in this 911 call, do I need to hire a private investigator? I'm assuming that this call is before they do the search warrant on her house. So is this before the search warrant took place? Because I believe the search warrant took place 3 days after Debbie was reported missing. Does anyone know, is this the day before the search warrant took place? Either way, once the search warrant took place, okay, it is before. Okay, thank you. Once this search warrant took place, if you're an innocent person, wouldn't you hire a lawyer and be I know hiring a lawyer can look guilty or innocent, but if you're 100% innocent and they've already done a search warrant on your place, I mean, wouldn't you be wow, this is they're coming after me. Like, I have nothing to do with this. Like, I need to get a lawyer. Like, this is unbelievable. I reported her missing. You know, I'm a concerned daughter, like, unbelievable. But instead, they're just kind of like, I mean, unless they have a lawyer in private, I don't know. But it's just interesting that they keep speaking out and stuff, which makes me feel like they don't have a lawyer. I just feel like it's just another sign of guilt in a way, because they're gonna, if they're guilty and they're, you know, they're just gonna wait until they get caught. And yeah, people seem to be agreeing, like they would definitely hire a lawyer, like if that took place for them. So yeah, she's not very smart. Look at her relationship history. Agree. Like I said earlier, you are the company you keep. 6-hour search on the house is a long time. Yes, it is. And it had to have been completely like legit for them to be there, obviously, for the warrant to go through. And another reason why I'm thinking that this is a gunshot, because obviously the cause and manner of death at the autopsy is evident when you see a entry and exit wound, and it's just clear, you know, when they were killed by a gunshot. So maybe that escalated the search, because they're like, we already know how she died and with what, we need to find the weapon. Again, I'm just speculating. I am curious, like, did they take clothing items, like whatever Amanda and Andrew were wearing the day that she went missing, you know, when Amanda shows up on scene and she's in hysterics, although then it's like a few days later. But I'm just curious, like, for ballistics, did they take clothing? You know what I mean? Like, because if a gun is fired, obviously there's going to be residue somewhere. So I'm just curious, like, what, if anything, was taken from the house. I'm not sure if they found anything. They haven't released any information from what I've seen. No, it does not. With all due respect, ATS News, attorneys defend our Constitution. Wait, what did I say? I'm sorry. Don't have money for a PI either. Exactly.
Athens Court, Timmy, please.
Hi, can I speak with Colonel Johnson?
Okay, I don't have a Colonel Johnson.
Okay. He just called me. I have some more information for him, and I wanted to get it to him. My name's Amanda Bearden.
Okay. All right, hold on 1 second. I'll talk to you.
Wrongfully accused. It happens all the time. Right. No, Danielle, I definitely understand that and am aware of that. But thank you for reminding me.
Earlier, so was that
Yes.
Sergeant Johnson we had you talk to? Hold on.
Sergeant Johnson. I'm sorry, honey.
No, that's okay. Just lots of Johnsons around here, so I want to make sure I got
No, I get it.
you just need him to call you back.
Yes, ma'am. I thought about it, and I have her iCloud information.
Okay, so now they're starting the second call.
I know that and correct me if I'm wrong, but if the phone is turned off, it would still track her. But I do have her.
And I agree, everyone should definitely hire a lawyer. I think I did state that. I said it doesn't necessarily mean that you're innocent or guilty, like either way, but it can be looked at as guilt if you hire a lawyer immediately. But at the same time, if you're completely innocent, they do a search warrant on your house and you still haven't hired a lawyer, it seems to me like you're like waiting around to see what else happens before you get like a public defender that's pro bono or something like that. As a relative, law enforcement would have given her a detective contact card for her to call directly. Yeah, so why is she calling 911? Like, is she like on something? I'm 110% certain that she went and took things from her mother's house to give herself an excuse to call and fish for information. Crazy. Correct me if I'm wrong. She knows the phone is off and she wants to know if the phone can still be tracked. Wow. Yeah, definitely fishing for information here. If you guys haven't liked the stream, please give me a like, and we're going to finish this up and talk a little bit more, and then that'll be it for today. So thank you again for being here.
I got her Apple ID and what I thought was her password, but the password isn't working.
And if she has her Apple ID, then that just sort of reinforces me feeling like she probably knew her Venmo password too. And good morning, Open Minds. It's good to see you.
I don't know if y'all have technology or whatever, but I do have, I don't know. I mean, you know.
All right, hold on one second, okay?
They said he'd call me back. Okay, thank you.
All right, ma'am, he said he'd be calling you back shortly, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are you guys thinking? In my opinion, Debbie received the message for Venmo and changed her password in the parking lot. Definitely possible, and all these things can be tracked. I mean, once they get an expert to look at the phone data and all that, and the fact that they have her phone will show exactly who sent that message. Did it come from Debbie's phone or not? If it's not coming from Debbie's phone, then that's a red flag. However, it seems as though Amanda's very into people's finances and information and business. So the boyfriend mentions that Amanda takes his money and all this stuff, and it was direct deposited. He speaks about, and then it comes out that she's speaking about passwords. Sorry, forgot my thoughts. So I'm I'm just thinking that Amanda has access to bank accounts, not just Andrew's. She knew how much was in her mother's account and all that. The thing that I'm just still stuck on is like the timeline of when something is awry. Here, honestly, like, do you see the back of her head? Hold on, let me pause it. So something that I'm always like aware of, and I feel like women are, I don't know if I'm looking too much into this, but see how like her hair in the back is like, you can see like her dark roots. Like when people like lay on their back and they have like shorter hair, like Debbie's hair, sometimes if you don't like comb it or fluff it or whatever, like it'll be like split like that. Like it looks like she was laying there and it was, you can just see her roots like down the middle of the back of her head. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't look like she really like did her hair that day. Everyone's been talking about her outfit and stuff, but like just looking at her head, I'm just like, it doesn't even seem like she was able to like brush her hair or like fluff it. Bed head. Thank you, Seagate. She has bed head in my opinion. For someone like Debbie to be so put together all the time, I just can't help but feel like this is another like red flag in a way that's like something went awry like very early on in the day and she wasn't even put together properly. She looks mildly shaken here. I think I've said the whole time she is slightly off tempo here. The way she's fumbling with the bag, like when you have so much coffee and no food shakes. Ah, yes, I know that shake. I aim for it every morning here with you guys on my live streams. But yeah, she left in a hurry, Allison is saying, you know, and it's like for the clerk to say that nothing seemed off, it's sort of like, you know, you're sort of in your own like days and world when you're working. So I don't really know if this was because if, she said that she seemed fine because she's just not, the clerk just wasn't in tune. You know what I mean? Like if you're not paying attention, maybe you wouldn't know. The visor is another aspect that makes me feel like this was something was going on while she was getting ready for the day. Like, I mean, like she was made to wear that visor, maybe to hide her face or something. Well, if you have roots showing with blonde hair, that's on you. But Debbie just seems very put together, in my opinion. I'm not really sure, like, how you are in the sense, but from what I've looked at with Debbie, she doesn't seem like somebody who would leave the house with bedhead. Like roots is one thing. Then you kind of like move your hair around where it's not as bad. Like here, you can literally see bedhead. So that's why I'm thinking like this visor, the outfit, her hair condition, like as far as it not being combed in a way, I'm thinking something was taking place like very early on. Us not having sound on the CCTV footage, for me, it's like maybe she was upset or frazzled. She does look sort of frazzled there, going through the with the bag. Let me rewind it here so we can see it a little bit better. And I know you guys have already zoomed in on this, but sometimes you look at things one way. See, she kind of like looked in her bag and then shut it, and then pulled her shirt down. Like to me, I don't know. I'm looking at this a little bit differently, and I'm thinking like maybe she was frazzled here. It's hard to say she wasn't, you know what I mean? But it's hard to say she was. For me though, the hair, the bed head and her hair looking that way, it's just, to me, doesn't seem like exactly Joseph. She'd never leave the house like this. She just wouldn't. I feel like that too. Like I can't help but feel that way. Stressed is possible. Maybe the car headrest messed her hair up. That's true. But I don't know. The part, to me, the way that it's like split, it looks more than just like a car headrest. And I don't really drive with my head like on the headrest like that. Maybe somebody had her head back like this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. For me, the bed head is just sort of like a red flag. And in the visor. Does anyone have any other pictures of Debbie in visors? So the crime scene stated that she was gripping the tree. That is the question, on the thumbnail. Why was that? Oh, bye, Danielle. Have a good day. I'm so glad you were chatting with us. I just wonder, the gripping of the tree, the order of operations for the death scene, I can't help but really kind of think about. I'm sorry if that's morbid, but the news, the media put it out there. So her gripping the tree, the roots or whatever, I'm assuming it's this image here, like some way, shape, or form, the roots or whatever she was holding on to. It was her right hand, and they said her torso was burnt. So I just am like, hold on, let me pause it. I'm sort of stuck on if she was gripping the tree, but they seen her torso was burned. So she's laying, was she laying on the ground, guys? Or was she sort of like leaned on this abandoned tree that's like uprooted, with her torso exposed, and then like her right hand gripping one of these roots? You know what I mean? Like, was she blown back, or was it, I just am like very confused, because people are speculating that the scene was staged possibly. And I just feel like if Amanda and Andrew, and of course this is just speculation, you guys let me know what you think, they're not smart enough to stage a scene, especially with leaving things behind. Like, I'm just thinking, okay, she was found on her back. But what I mean is, like, she could be on her back, like leaning on this tree. You know what I mean? Like, did they stay? And if anyone has the articles, like, was she laying on the ground? Like, flat on the ground with her hand on these roots. I'm just trying to like imagine. I'm sorry, but I don't know. Either way, what I'm saying is I just don't think that they're smart enough to have staged the scene. So I don't think that her gripping the tree was rigor mortis, like after the fact, or a cadaveric spasm, in my opinion. Mia Morey agrees. She says, I don't think it was staged at all. It went down the way it went down. If not, Debbie may not have been found at all. It's so weird because in my mind, gripping the tree is like she was hugging the tree, like makes absolutely no sense. That's what I'm thinking too. Like, that's why I'm like, they seen that her torso was burned. How is she like gripping the tree with her right hand? And then I've seen other articles saying that she was like grasping like the base of a tree, and I'm assuming it's this. I mean, it's uprooted, so the roots are exposed. That's what she's gripping. Yes, I think it's weird it was mentioned at all, hand gripping a tree. Good morning, Adrian. It's good to see you. Can I just say, when I study the Cobain case, there's a book called Love and Death, and it's pretty much a very extensive death investigation that looks at the Cobain case as something like a murder rather than he unalived himself, like we've been told. And the book references a coroner that gives his opinion on the autopsy and all that of Kurt Cobain. And the thing about it is, in that case, he was gripping the barrel of the gun, which they end up speaking about in the Love and Death book. And they say that that's pretty much typical, like for an unalived situation involving a gun, that once it goes through the brain, the bullet, it like unalived scenes, death scenes, they're still gripping the gun. I know this is, sorry, trigger warning. But it makes me just think about her gripping the tree. Like, was she, and I hate to speculate and talk like this, but you guys are my friends. If we could get through that advertisement earlier in the stream and you're still here, then you must be my friend. So thank you. But anyways, yeah, I seen that too, that they said it was I've seen more than one report about this. So they said, I think it was a tree, not the root. I've seen, like, the first report said she was gripping a small tree. And then I've seen other reports saying that she was gripping a root. I don't know, guys. And yes, Joseph, I agree for sure. Sorry, my head's just everywhere still about that ad. But anyways, so anyway, I'm thinking, like, was this a gunshot wound? And I hate to say it, to the head, where, during that, like, she's about to be shot, she's grabbing onto something or something, you know what I mean? Her hand was there. And then she's shot, much like in the Love and Death book, when they talk about the unalived scenes. Was she, did it grip something because the bullet went through her brain, and it was just like the same reaction in a way, like the same type of nerve. I don't know, guys. It's just, my head's everywhere with this. Okay. They gave us the details. A lot of times it seems like they hold back details about the scene like that, but they just gave it to us in this case. And it's just been spinning around in my mind of like, we don't have the cause and manner of death. So I just need more information. Petunia said, but honestly, without the picture of the full scene, we will never know. She could have been gripping a small tree trying to catch herself from falling. Yeah, it's like, or was she crawling away? But then I'm thinking, if she was crawling or falling, she wouldn't have been found laying on her back. You know what I mean? Like, she would have been, yeah, the incident report stated she was laying on her back, grasping a small tree. So that's where I get, like, sort of confused, and maybe we would get crime scene photos. I'm not sure how Georgia's public records laws are. Some of them are stricter than others. Or someone was dragging her to the fire. Oh, wow, Molly. Yeah. And she's grabbing the tree. I'm thinking the fire was done after her manner of death. I'm thinking that it was to kind of hide things or cover things up. That's the other thing that I'm like very confused on is I heard that she was partially nude, and then I've also heard that she was nude. So I'm like, if it's partially nude and it's just the top that was nude, to me that doesn't sound like a SA scene. To me, I'm wondering if like did they have trouble burning her, or did they use her shirt as like the accelerant, like put the accelerant on there and just try to like stage the scene because they, or I mean, burn the scene because they said that the part of the tree was burnt too. So I'm just wondering, like, was the shirt removed and then lit on fire, like around her to destroy evidence? Yeah, Pink Dahlia, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking like it didn't take the blaze, maybe. I think the fire was to destroy evidence, but something went wrong. You know what I mean? They're not experts, obviously, and they're not that smart, in my opinion, with whatever took place here. Maybe it was damp. Maybe they left the scene without knowing if it was going to burn all the way. Yeah, CDT, I do too. Like, was she wearing her shoes? What were the footprints like in there? I understand that people went to the scene and took more pictures afterwards, and I'm just like cringing at the thought, like, did they follow the same, like, sorry. Did they follow the same footsteps and like contaminate like the path? Like for me, if I was going to go and check out like a crime scene that had like tape removed and all that, I would make sure like, okay, don't walk where, I don't know. I just really am curious, like what footprints might have been found, but it seems like everyone's seeming to think that the fire was lit to destroy evidence. But good morning, Roxanne. It's good to see you. And I definitely think that law enforcement should have kept the area closed off much longer than they did. For sure. A local said they're not even allowed to burn there right now and was shocked it didn't burn forest down. I don't know, guys. Like it's hard to like keep a fire going. Like I used to camp, and you know, unless things are super dry, and like I'm just wondering, like, was it just like an area that was just sort of like not dry, like it was damp, fire just didn't stay. It's hard to keep one going unless you're there monitoring it. So I'm wondering if like they just fled the scene instantly, you know what I mean? Dropped the bullet, left all the items there, and thought that it was going to be like burned away, because everyone's like, what's with this stuff laying around here? It's the stuff she bought at Dollar General. I just feel like they thought it would all be burned and they left. If the dang trees were burned, they must have used accelerants. Yeah, they did. They mentioned in some of the stuff that it was burned. Yeah, they lit the fire and walked away. Yeah, I think so too. It was a crime and opportunity. Maybe they got upset realizing Debbie sent money to Amanda rather than they wanted, perhaps, and they decided to kill out of anger. Perhaps. I mean, until we know information, there's a lot of things on the table. They didn't have her buy fire starter. I think that that's what the paper towels were for. Yeah, there was no like, what's it called? Lighter fluid. Was there? No, they didn't buy lighter fluid. The flammable stuff would have flamed up and then died quickly. So I agree. I just am like, what the heck? I bet you it is a gun. Here's the thing. If you're going to go to the extent to like burn somebody, but you can't bear to stay around. I mean, were they panicked? Were they just trying to get out of there? I mean, obviously you don't want to stand there and be like watching it, but it's just kind of like unbelievable that it was partially done. Yes, that's what I think. I think there's burn warnings in the area. They assumed it would catch. Wow. Very interesting. Butane torch. Yeah, I think everything that burned was wrapped in paper towel. Yeah. I'm wondering, you know, what. I just feel like her being nude or partially nude has something to do with it being part of like the burn stuff. I don't know. I hope it doesn't come out that there was like an essay involved here. But anyways, guys, yeah, why not burn the phone in the purse? It's like, did the Venmo not even come from her phone? So they didn't, I don't know, guys. Yeah, it is. They probably gave up. It's way harder than people think. Maybe they pushed her down by the sweater and were trying to burn DNA, right? It just seems like the burning aspect had to do with getting rid of evidence linking them. Possibly. I don't know, guys. I had heard there was a creek nearby. I'm wondering if they thought she was dead from whatever, then set on fire and she was attempting to get to the creek. Just a theory. Perhaps. I'm feeling like if you're on fire, you would just tuck and roll, but who knows? Never happened to me before, thank God. All right, Jamie, it's good that you were in chat. So glad you were here, and enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, time will tell for sure what's going on. It seems like hopefully they have like a good grasp on everything. Still figuring out why her torso was burned. Yeah, I'm thinking like that's where they started. Maybe they lit the shirt, threw it on her, and hoped for the best and walked away, and it only burned her torso, and then it went out. Yeah, they knew her van was going to be a red flag to law enforcement and didn't want to stay there long, right? Especially with the GPS that it had on there. Like, it would definitely have been tracked, and it was tracked fairly quickly. Okay, well, if CDT is still here, I want to know if she's going live. Not smart enough to know that burning a body is difficult and takes high temperature. Yes. Yep. I agree there. This was not organized, and that's why I feel like they're not smart enough to stage the scene. So the gripping of the tree, to me, I'm still just like, what is that about? I'm just curious, the cause and manner of death, pretty much. But anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for those who have just been interacting in chat with me today. Thank you for laughing with me earlier in the stream. It's good to kind of have like a little moment of, we don't have to be so serious and talk about serious stuff. Like, I don't know. You guys are great. And that was just hilarious. Okay, CDT is going live tomorrow. So we will be in CDT's live tomorrow because I'm not going to go live until after the weekend. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys all there. Thank you so much to the moderators, to the members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If anyone can just thumbs this up, that's a free way to support the channel, and it's much appreciated. If you haven't seen the Dahmer Netflix show, I recommend it only because if you like true crime, he's somebody that needs to be studied at one point in your true crime studies. But yeah, I have a live stream on that. I have the Gabby Petito documentary that I worked on, which is getting good feedback. So I just really appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you very soon. And yeah, smash that like and enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week here and into the weekend. And I will talk to you as soon as I can. So bye, guys.